Hey, think of this as like a bonus episode. I tried to record this first time round, had a pile of OpenGL errors that I mentioned in the review proper, but I thought, yeah, whatever, I'll stick this up. So, here you go, have fun. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Random DOS game show. And today, we have yet another Electronic Arts game, but this is Electronic Arts Canada. And no guesses as to what game this is going to be. It's by the former people who made Stunts. Or at least some of them. So, let's see what they've got in store for us. Let's go! Yeah, fast, high-octane, racing action with all the 90s trimmings. That's right. It's Need for Speed. By Pioneer Productions. So, let's get going. You have a comprehensive menu selection screen there. Single player or modem. We'll go for single player. This is the special edition of Need for Speed. And if you ever want videos about Need for Speed, go check out LGR. He loves Need for Speed. He talks about it a lot. So, we have a selection screen called a Control Central, where we can select our opponent, the city, the race type. Let's go for a Ferrari. Let's go in the city. What sort of opponent can we have? Let's give them a really awful car. You know, I think they're all good cars, actually. Look at them. Yeah, you can have a Dodge Viper. City. So it's up and down to navigate the menu, but I believe there's mouse support. Yes, there is. So we can do a time trial. Or we can do a single race. So we can race against a whole pile of people. I think that changed our car, actually. You can have tournaments, of course. Let's just try a time trial. Let's get our Ferrari. Let's have a look at the options, shall we? Automatic transmission, ABS, yes. Traction control, not available. Got graphics, controls set up. What are our controls, I wonder? Left, right, up, down, A, Z. And then you've got your handbrake with space. And you can sound your horn, which is always very important with the H button. But enough of that. Beautiful embossed background there, as you can see. Let's just head in and see what happens. Alright. I'm going forward. As in, I'm pressing the... Oh, there we go. I just had to take it out of gear. Oh, yes. You can feel the Stunts influence. This was just an evolution of everything, you know, driving-wise, that had come up to this point. It's very smooth compared to, say, something like Test Drive or Stunts. In fact, it's very, very similar to Stunts. Now, I know that there's probably a way to change the camera. I've seen it in third-person view, so I'll just make a note of that. Maybe I'll change it later. I don't want to die here, so I'll slow down a little bit. And one thing I do notice is that this city, in general, it doesn't have as many twists and turns as the Stunts tracks or anything like that. You can see your map in the bottom right-hand corner. It's sort of saying to you, look, there's the odd turn coming up, perhaps, maybe, but it's mostly pretty straight going. Alright, we'll slow down a bit here as we enter the tunnel. There we are. And there's some nice daylight sort of lighting. So it goes all dark when we're in the tunnel, but not so impenetrably black that we can't see what's going on. I'm enjoying the automatic gear shifting, because when I used to drive, I don't anymore. When I used to drive the... Oh, too much talking, not enough racing. Yeah, I used to have real problems shifting gears. And I know with a lot of Americans, you have like your standard car, and then you have what's called a stick shift. But over here in Europe, it's far more common to have manual transmission types. So I have to say, this is pretty much seamless. I mean, what the... Oh, right. I guess I'm done. Ah. Segment 1, current standing 2 of 2. So I took like 28 seconds off the pace there. And my average speed was a bit low. But, you know, it was fine. It was okay. Now, do we continue? Ah, so this checkpoint gives you the option to have a look at various graphics and so on. I wonder if we go to the controls setup. Camera, keyboard C. So we're going to change to the third person view. And we'll continue on our race. Yes, very nice. Take it out of gear, James. Yep. And then camera, camera, camera. Right, there's 4, I think. Yeah. You can get rid of the steering wheel altogether and just have a pure 3D experience. You can have close to the car there, and then you can have this sort of customary sort of behind the car far away view. We'll go for that for now. Sort of similar to Carmageddon in a way, you know. Oh! Come on, James. Get it together, man. Serious corner coming up here. So I'm wondering to myself, was that checkpoint basically, right, you've had the easy bit of the level, now you've got the hard bit, because there seems to be already substantially more cornering than the previous bit of the city, and that's kind of cool. You know, the idea of making things gradually more difficult. Like that tunnel's got a corner in it, and I just mashed up my car there because I'm spending too much time talking and not enough time driving. I have to say, the music's excellent, the sound effects are all in place. This is a classic. I can tell just by playing it, you know. I've watched a few videos on it, but I've never actually got around to playing it. Closest I got was one of the Need for Speeds on the original Xbox, I think. It's quite forgiving, actually, when you spin out in corners. I haven't actually spun out, but I might do yet. Oh. And those of you who are familiar with my racing know that I'm exceedingly good on the straights and terrible on the corners. So, as soon as I get to a straight, it's like, yes, let's open up, full throttle. But when we get to a bit of cornering, it's, yeah, I slow down and I'm like an old granny. No offense to grannies watching this. I don't think there are many, to be honest. Believe it or not, most of the people who watch this are actually younger than me. That shocked me when I first found it out. And those wondering about my general well-being, I am better. Whoa! So that's that checkpoint. I'm feeling much better than before. Okay, so if we quit game, will that quit us out? Right, it'll just take us back to the menu. So what I'm going to do now is, instead of a time trial, we will go for a single race. And yeah, we'll have a Dodge Viper. We'll change the location to coastal, and we'll go for it. We'll have a bit of fun. Let's change the camera view, and don't forget to change into gear, James. A and Z change the gears if you're in manual, but if you're in automatic, you still need to press A or Z in order to, you know, get into gear and start. So don't forget to do that at the beginning. Oh! So I'm just following the pack at the minute. I'll slowly, you know, just head up. But I know there's going to be a corner coming up at some point, and they'll all slow down, and I'll shunt into the back of them. You know, it's a tale as old as time. It's gonna happen. But in the meantime, we can take a look at this beautiful, beautiful map. Well, if I can stay on the road, there's a lovely little backdrop. It's very nice, actually. You know, a bit pixelated, but considering that this was a DOS game from the mid-90s... Oh, wow. So if you can actually leave the road. That's cool. So say if you're coming off a steep slope, there's the corner. Yep, look at him slow down. Oh! I lost some time on that. I just ate a bumper there. Well, not a bumper. One of the guardrails. Don't worry, I'll catch them up. Some nice braking noises as well, some tire squealing, and generally the sound design is excellent, but that's to be expected. Like, EA Canada were formed from the team that did stunts. I can't remember their name exactly off the top of my head while I'm racing here. But, oh dear. The guy who made stunts, one of the guys, ended up basically being in charge of EA for a period, or a very, very high presidential position. And then moved on to heading the Xbox project, I believe. Might be wrong about that. But bit of a divisive figure, you know, as you can imagine with EA's reputation. But back in the 90s, this guy could make games, you know? Back when he was young and hungry and the world was his oyster. You find that a lot with people, you know. Generally age catches up to them. Right, we've reached a checkpoint, and I'm spinning out of control like crazy. So, I'm currently 6th. I need to speed things up. As you can see, my average speed isn't far off the pace at the minute. But the cornering's costing me. So segment 1 there, we can see who's got the fastest of all time and everything like that. Let's continue. I'm enjoying this. What I'm not enjoying is that it changes camera each time, and I have to get out of gear. Oh! I just got bumped. Yeah, let's hit that horn. Beep, beep, beep. Get out of the way. Lonnie coming through. Yes. Can we shunt him a little bit? Yes, we can. We can put him off. But this is a lot more coastal and a lot more cornery. So I just need to be a bit more careful this time. Just like previously with the city, this segment, this part of the game, seems to be a lot sort of more difficult. And somebody's trying to overtake me here, so I just need to step on the gas. As you fine Americans would say, those watching. Look at the balloons. That's fantastic. So yeah, by this point, you know, you might think EA Canada, relatively new studio, wow, they came out with Need for Speed right off the bat. But no, they had been making like quality racing games under a different name for years at this point. So what you're seeing now is very much a culmination of that experience, you know? You should probably drive on the road, James. Come on. We're really pushing this guy. Let's honk at him. Get off the road, you maniac! There we go. See you later. Until I, you know, reach a corner. Uh-oh. Corner incoming. Oh, it's not too tight. Oh, God! Hey, you're not the previous guy. Get away from me! Ow. Ooh, I felt that. There's the previous guy. I'm not actually trying to win this, as you can imagine, because talking constantly into a microphone and playing this game, it's not a good combination. There's also, oh, you can see the battle going on ahead there. That's quite impressive. Look at that. There's also the whole getting used to the driving and physics. Each driving game has a different driving and physics system to it, you know. And we're really playing bumper cars here. But I think Lonnie can just edge ahead. And this is one of those nice things from the early racers, you know, where it's like you're actually that little bit faster than your average computer. And we've reached the checkpoint. Whoa! So let's have a look at our, we took a little bit longer. We're still 3 miles an hour off the pace. But if you look at our top speed is actually faster. So if we hadn't messed around with the corners and all the stuff like that, we'd really, really be making a difference here. So, look at that. Segment 2, rank 5. Lonnie. Doing pretty well there. Let's continue on to the next segment. Right. Put it in gear and... shall we go first person perspective this time? Beep, beep, beep. Yes. Right. Oh god. This is even harder. You can see, just right off the bat, a lot more cornering, a lot more going on, and I'm ignoring these signs, well, running into the signs, and losing position as a result, I have to say, the first-person driving is actually a lot more difficult. You don't have as much situational awareness. That's probably an obvious thing to point out, but it is what it is, A lot of people on this channel, they have specific genres they like, might not even play racing games, so it's worth pointing out. Another thing, oh, look at the forest. That's nice. Oh! Another thing I've noticed, you'll see in the map at the bottom right-hand corner, there's not much rubber banding going on. Rubber banding is when you get ahead of, like, the pack, and the computer decides, well, he is, like, way, way behind. What we'll have to do to make the race more interesting is to pull him back towards the player, or away from the player if he's ahead, in order to make the game more difficult. And that's called the rubber banding effect, and it is absolutely rampant in racing games, I am absolutely loving this, I have to say. Really, really enjoying myself. Not very good at it, but it's very forgiving, I have to say. I don't know if there's damage off or something. I feel like I should have trashed this car a long time ago. What happened there? There was a crash. Those two cars, they were just stopped. Oh dear. I hope whoever's in there is alright. Downhill cornering, this is gonna go well. There's like a slight sort of jolt. You'll see it when I crash into something. Look at the buildings, lovely. Stunts was known for that as well. Also, the guy I was speaking about earlier is called Don Matrick. You can look him up. His company was so successful, they basically merged with EA and became their biggest studio, EA Canada. But anyway, yes, when you bump, when you crash, you seem to sort of jolt back into position, like there, so that you can just continue on racing. There was often a sort of frustration with racing games that, like, one bad crash and you'd be absolutely screwed, There would be no point in continuing because there was no chance of you winning the race. But with this, it's forgiving. You make a mistake and Need for Speed will sort of bump you back on. And that's really cool. I mean, it reminds me of the, you'd have these old arcades, and coin-operated arcade machines, and the whole cockpit would be there. You maniacs! You blew it up! It's a Statue of Liberty in the sand there. It's a reference to a movie. Anyway, moving on. Let's see. Average speed. You can see I was only 1.5 miles per hour there, off. And my top speed was significantly faster than whatever they were doing there. So you can see I'm quite happily middle of the pack there, despite this being my first time playing. And I'm happy with that. I'm very happy with that.
Congratulations. You've got a top 10 time for this track.
Hey! Look at that. We're in the top 10 of all time. That is very, very impressive, Mr. Lonnie. Very impressive indeed. So that's it done. We head back to Control Central. And just another word on the music. Listen to that. That is just fantastic. So, who would I recommend it for? It's pretty obvious. any fan of racing games whatsoever from any era needs to go back and just play Need for Speed. Just once even, you know, just to go back and see where it all began, because this is tremendous fun. The sounds are great, the controls are intuitive, the racing is forgiving, the tracks are interesting, and they are segmented and they get more difficult as they go along. And I was very impressed with that. Instead of being this enormous, like, multi-lap thing that you had to sort of go round all in one go, it splits it up. And I've not seen that before in a racing game. So, my hearty recommendation. I've no doubt this has broken the time limit. Yeah, it looks that way. I started late, so I'll finish early, so to speak. And, yeah, massive thumbs up for Need for Speed. Great fun. I'll be keeping this on the drive and playing it every so often. And if you like me gushing about DOS games in a positive fashion, it does happen. Check out the 20-minute plus time limit breaking videos on my channel, and the rest if you want. And if you like what you see there, feel free to hit subscribe. But in the meantime, I think I'm gonna get my Ferrari and I'm gonna have another race. Until next time. So yeah, as you can see, the OpenGL error caused horrible flickering in-game. I thought I'd put this up for posterity anyway, and hope you enjoyed. Thanks for making to the end of it. Well done. Golf clap for you. To see you out.